Hello. Does this still work? Things still work. That's a good sign. Oh boy. What am I doing? Oh, there's a clip that button. Crazy. Technology. Just keeps moving. Bot still works. Oh my god, 2 firsts? That's high? What's up, Howling? What's up, Infinite Coder? Betseg? How's everyone's President's Day? I know it just started, but gotta go. All right. Meep moop. Hello, low key. Your company had a data breach? That's very cool. I am proud of you. Wait, hold on. Before I say I'm proud of you, take that back. Pretend I didn't say it yet. Were you responsible for the data breach? Were your actions, did they directly contribute to the data being breached? No? Aw. It'd been more exciting if they were. You always love to leak a little data. Due diligence and due care from my end had been proven. Wow. Hi, not a cop. Hello, not a brain. Bad cop, is there any other type? No, you're right. You're right. Zombie Choose Awake? Shouldn't you be? Oh no, wait. It's a holiday. Never mind. You get a pass. You don't have work, probably. Okay. I want to make something new. I feel like I haven't made something new in a while. And so, of course, you know, I'm going to make the most ambitious thing I possibly can and probably abandon it before the end of the stream. But we'll see. You can't just let the world know I work. I'm sorry. I didn't say where you worked. But it is the CIA, for anyone wondering. Your house got flooded? That is annoying. What time is it over there? It's a great question. Let me see. Looks like it's that one. Wait, what is this scene behind? Oh, my camera is behind me. Yeah, it's this one. Oh. It's train time. You know it, I know it. Oh boy. All right. We've got some work to do. We need to, first of all, we need to go into the code folder because that's where the code goes. And I'm going to make a directory called, fuck, I'm already stuck. I didn't think this far ahead. This is so this I will call this. This will be I have a good name for this. No. No, no, no. It's Chars? No, no, no. Uh 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 it's gonna be called let's not get creative. It's the why are names so tricky? Let's just call it script editor. We can start there. All right. Now, I tricked you with the title. It's not actually going to be one of those get inits. You might think it's a get init time, but actually we're going to do npm init. This is going to be one of those. Well, no, I probably don't want to npm init actually. I probably want however you do vite these days. Vite? Yeah, this one. Sure. Project name. Well, I called it script edit. Oh, it's gonna do the thing where it... All right, hold on. I hate when they do this. Script editor. See, this is why we didn't get in it yet. Oh no. There's so many options. When did they make more JavaScript frameworks? Call me crazy, but what if we just didn't use one? Would that make this easier or harder? I'm crazy. Yeah. I feel like the amount of value I would get out of a framework for this thing is maybe none. Maybe a tiny bit. There's like some parts I could envision having. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be UI. This is definitely UI. Maybe I should start by drawing what we're gonna make. What do people draw on now? Tail draw still a thing. Very good free whiteboard. Oh, it's very white. They weren't lying about that part. Sorry. So, okay. The thing I want to make, it's a rectangle because that's what every like browser app is. But the thing about this rectangle, you see where I'm going with this? It's got this side and it's got this side. And the two sides are, you got your text editor and your graph editor. So okay. Let's go back even further. If we go to the GitHub, we made this game a while ago called Cave Room 2. And in this game, there is a file called story. And this file sucks. Everything about this file is the worst. You have to edit this giant JSON guy by hand, and it's giant, and it's unpleasant to edit. And so what I want to make is an editor for this big JSON guy. Historically, the indent isn't consistent. Yeah, I believe it, because it was like it was partially generated. It was partially generated and then edited by hand. The first pass of it was a bash script. And so the source material for this was a Google Doc. We took the Google Doc, we copy pasted all of the text from the Google Doc into a text file, and then we ran a bash script on that generated a best effort of this JSON thing. And then we used our judgment to fix the JSON by hand. Why not let GPT do that? I mean, I have a feeling it could kind of do it, but like the thing about it, like it has to be perfect. And I don't know. I would rather have an editor that enforces you edit the reasonable structure of this thing than trust that the LLM is gonna know what our weird, like, made up structure means and turn it into this schema, right? Like, I just don't have faith in the accuracy of these things, and I don't know how to validate that it did the right thing without just like testing it a bunch. So I'd rather make an editor for this weird format that I've concocted. Hello. Plus also fuck AI. Yeah. So like that's the other side of it, is like, nah. I don't really like the thing. But yeah. So the way we wrote this, do I have, hold on. I can go to my Google Drive real quick. Okay, good. It's not light mode. Oh, but this image is inverted from Dark Reader. Okay, interesting. But yeah, we wrote it to basically look like a script. And there is a language that is like good for this sort of thing. But the problem is that this isn't really a script. It's a little more complicated. Because in a movie script, the audience doesn't make any choices. And you just you go from the top to the bottom and the things happen. But in a video game, there's like look, the player has options here. They get to pick what they want to say. And this really messes up the top to bottom style of writing. And as the person writing it, it's really convenient to be able to like write it out in this linear form and also like view it in this linear form. But it's kind of hard to represent the graph nature of this thing at the same time. So what I want to make is an editor that has two sides. It's got the one that looks like this. It should essentially look exactly like this, maybe, hopefully. And then a graph editor that's like a bunch of nodes, and you can see what connects to what. You can like click on things and rewire it It's basically the same as writing a choose your own adventure book. You're not wrong. There are languages for that, actually. That might be worth looking into before I get too deep into this. Choose your own adventure book language. I know that some of these exist. Maybe like programming or like markup. Choose your own adventure is a trademarked term? Oh, really? Hypertext fiction and markdown. Interactive fiction? Here you go, here's one. XML based, very good. This is what I'm looking for. Twine, yeah, I have heard of Twine. Twine software. See, but this might be too complicated for my liking. I very much like the structure that I've sort of come up with for like the backing data. And I'd like to keep it unless something really compelling shows up. That's not the same one. Use the file system and use symlinks to backtrack. Now we're talking. Why can't I go back on that? Okay. Inform 7. Whoa. I mean, the annoying thing about these is like, yeah, the annoying thing about these is like you have to learn some new syntax. And my thing is very light on syntax. I mean, it's more of a visual editor for the thing. Yeah, I mean, I thought about a DSL, but like the thing that I have is already basically like the AST. And so like I don't need a DSL. I could just operate on the, oh, why have you done that? Also, hello. Your end. Hi. How was your stream? How's the bear? How are the bones? Did you figure out the bones? We are in the midst of deciding which you regret your stream. I mean, you did this. You have nobody to blame except yourself. It was good, and bear is good, and bones are good. I'm doing well. We're trying to figure out which framework we want to do. They've got all of these ones now in the JavaScript. So I was trying to explain the problem that I have that I want to build a solution for. Have you ever put dialogue into a video game? Have you ever, or even like considered putting dialogue in a video game? It turns out it's not the most solved problem. Well, maybe it's the it is the most solved problem in that there's like 30 different solutions and they all kind of, I don't know. are confusing in their own way. So I'm making a 31st option that's confusing in its own way, but like makes sense to me. I had a dialogue box for dialogue once. I listened to Exo talk about it before and I was like, oh shit, I never considered how complex this could actually be. Yeah. I mean, mine is pretty simple actually. All things considered. It's just a graph. And oh shit. Okay. An October can, it's fine. It's just a graph and it looks something like this. So like when it's the player's turn to speak, you've got input, which is a list of options. And so these are your three options for this one. You can say, I'm just built different, and that'll take you to bouncer 4. You can say, uh-oh, it's another prison. Oh, no, wait. Oh, you don't know it? That takes you to bouncer 7. You can say, you should let me in. My uncle owns this place, and that goes to bouncer 5. So it's pretty simple to reason about. The annoying thing is it's really annoying to edit. So my idea, what I would like to do is instead of trying to solve this with like some fancy language that translates to this, I want to make some fancy tool that edits this. Like I want this to be the source of truth. And then we just edit this thing directly. And that is my strategy. I made a Tetris clone in Rust using GTK with a DSL. Why did you need a DSL for Tetris? That does sound fun though. For the UI. I see. I see. I did make a thing. I wonder if this still works. Let me open Cave Room 2 real quick. Somewhere in Cave Room 2, there's a little scene. And if you run this scene, I think it puts a bunch of shit into your clipboard, if I remember right. No? I thought that was the idea. Maybe it doesn't know how to put it in my clipboard. Let's just print it. Oh god. It's fine. Copy that. Put it in there. Yeah. So we have this thing already. Which is kind of similar to what I will want the UI on the right side to be. I don't know how that's gonna work actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. Oh. But maybe we just don't worry about that part yet. We focus on the left side, which is going to be the text editor for now. Because this seems like actually maybe the harder one. What is bouncer 14? I guess those are just like one-off lines when you already talked to somebody. Oh, this one's kind of interesting. It's got 3 entry points. You can start here, here, or here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. How would I... mm. I guess it doesn't matter. Wow, that one is actually throwing me for a loop. What did this look like in the script? Bouncer. Okay. Here. This is the second entry. Looking for a rematch. Oh, he's just kind of like hanging out here. Doesn't even say where it goes to. Oh, this one is like, do you want to go again? I bet. Okay. I don't know what this one will look like in the left side. Gosh. I'm sort of thinking that the way we do it is, oh, each like maybe like group of things is considered a scene. Each cluster, each subgraph. So like this whole thing would be a scene, and then maybe you have tabs at the top or something for the 2 different entry points here. Where's my this thing? So you've got like tabs. You get it? Those are tabs. Hello. And then it's like, you know, some text, and then some like player options. And probably one of them is like selected, and then that shows you that shows you like the continuation of this. And so you'd be able to like interact with a player option to switch which path through the graph you're on. This is going to be so complicated. I could feel it already. Because if you do any like bulk editing over here, the implications on the graph are going to be crazy. So this would imply that there's 3 entry points. And maybe let's say that they all go to the same option. Maybe I should have made this green. And then we'll say that there's let's make one of these light blue. What am I working on? I'm working on a dialogue system for my games, or rather an editor for my existing dialogue system. Let's make this less scuffed. You gotta go? All right. Have a good night. And then there would be like one here, here, here. I mean, you could even say that like maybe this one also goes to here. Simple. So simple. Now to make it actually simple. Well, the thing is, I don't think this is ever going to be simple. I think this is actually going to be very hard. Have we tried Dialogic and Dialogue Manager? No. I naively just wanted to do my own thing, and now I have to invent the world. But I don't think either of those do what I want. I did look at them at least a while ago. What are you working on? It's a dialogue system editor documentation. I did look at this one. Yeah, this is too visual for me. This is too structured. Like this looks like a toy to me. I don't know. Like, it's cool for people who like this sort of thing, but I don't want this. I want to be able to go through and like easily programmatically edit my thing, and having it as a big JSON object lets me do that. Like, if I need to do some garbage, I have the option to. Oh, they do have a text version. That's nice. But really, I just want it to be like the AST. I don't want a DSL, because then if I want to do anything with this, I have to like parse this weird file that there's no tooling for. It's yeah, it's just not nice. But maybe there's some ideas in here that I could steal. Yeah, and there's things in here like am I really gonna like put a voice thing onto each node? Like, obviously I want to do that automatically. I don't know. It's not hard, but oh boy. Yeah. Like, I don't know. This is fundamentally data, and we already have good data languages. Or good enough. I don't need another new data language. What does this mean? Join Juliet left. Oh, this is for when you have like characters on the UI or whatever. Yeah, this is like, this feels a little more like visual novel. Yeah. Focused. What was the other one? Dialogue manager? I don't know if I know that one. Powerful non-linear dialogue system. Ah, another language. I mean, it looks nice at first glance. But then, like, how do you rejoin a branch here? Tell me a joke goes to snippets joke. I think the problem with this is, like, if you look at the graph for KROM 2, there's a lot of stuff that like that rejoins. Like look at this option for player 6. Literally, it doesn't matter. No matter what you say, it goes to bouncer 8. Like this is an illusion of choice situation. I don't know how you represent that in this language. Because I feel like most games don't do that because it's silly. Also, the final boss graph is unholy. Ooh. I feel like I want a better way to represent some of these too. Like the way what this one actually represents is not quite what it looks like. Yeah, so like let's look at this one, player 35. This was kind of hacked together. This one is like a long optional chain that doesn't lead anywhere. It's so you say these are your initial options are we're innocent, I can explain, I'd like a lawyer, and out of curiosity, do you pay taxes? And after you say this one, the warden says no, which is the warden 11. And then it comes back to here, which you see on the graph. 11 goes back to 35. But then it unlocks this one where you say, dang, that would have been convenient. The warden says yes. And then you get a new option when it comes back. It's just like this one time in another prison. And it just keeps going. It's like this long chain of options that only show up if you clicked the previous one. But the reason it's like this is because the whole time you have the escape hatch of just picking one of the, like the real options as well. It's almost like what this really is that all of these are the same option and they're just like replacing it. Yeah. I don't know what it should look like on the graph though. Unless the whole chain took place inside of the player 35 node and we do subgraphs, but like, or like a recursive graph. That scares me too. An ordered list instead of a circle. Yeah. But like the arrow represents the player making a choice. Like I think this is actually the right way to do this. I don't know how else it would work. Because if it was only one arrow going in and out, it would imply you only made one choice. Or no, yeah. I mean, it could be the thing that like I don't know. It seems like a pretty niche use case to have a whole new feature. But it could be a new feature. Yeah, there's a similar thing over here that happens, but it's a little bit different. I think it's fine. It's just weird. I got pee. Okay. So I just thought about it for a second. I wonder if the reason that it's weird. You like my mind map? Thank you. I wonder if the reason that it's weird is because like these are maybe the player input nodes are maybe weird. um What do I mean by that? Say a central node target's name is renamed. It's going to be a chore to rename it in every JSON place it appears. It is a little bit. But, I mean, since it's all one big file, it's not that bad. Who did I walk into? Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, but I don't see how else it would work. I was thinking maybe it should be multiple nodes, like one per. It seems annoying to do for what it gets me. Like, okay, maybe each option should be a node, and then like player 35 would have a reference to each of those, but like, meh. It doesn't actually get me a lot. Especially since the player isn't voiced. Since the player's not voiced, like duplicating the player's lines is like fine. We need to try and make sure there's no duplicate character lines. I don't know. I didn't run into anything that I wasn't able to model with this setup. Just a couple things that were annoying. I did run into places where it was hard to hard to trim options, because the way it works in particular with the final boss is anytime you go down a path that like gets you killed, it will trim off that path for your next time through, so that you're not like getting lost in options that you already tried. But that did break a little bit with some of these structures. I think the way they do it in some other games is that like I think like the Mass Effect solution is they tweak the dialogue slightly. So instead of having this situation where like these two options are always here while you're going through this big alternate chain, they'll move this or this part one node deeper, and they'll have a persistent option that's like, never mind. And then that'll back you out to like these ones again. That is one way to solve this problem. Because then, I mean, let's just do it real quick, because why not? Yeah, that would clean up the graph a bit and make it easier to let's see. Player 35. Let's copy this one. Call it player 35B. And then get rid of these ones. This takes you back to player 35. You say, never mind. You don't say this one. Let's see if I can get this right first try. Dang, that would have been convenient. So you get rid of all of these. And then oh. Yeah, I guess here these all go down by one and become B's. No, I didn't. That was intentional. But thank you. So when does it go back to 35? I think these ones go back to 35. Okay. All right. I think I did it. I run the scene. Uh-oh. Why didn't it print anything? Wait, what? Oh, there we go. Yeah, look, oh, this changed. Dang it. Why does that reset my zoom? So now player 35 comes over to here, and you go through this little maze, and you come back to 35 when you're done. That's one way to do it. But it changes the gameplay ever so slightly. I could also have it set up to maybe like, now that it's like this. Well, I could have done it before, actually. It's just easier to see now. But I could have had these ones maybe manually lock that option. Although it's annoying that there's not a good way to reference a player option because they don't have an ID. I mean, you can see I do it a little bit in here with the I've got a dumb thing where you can like index into the array. But that's kind of fragile because if you add more options, their indices shift around. I don't love this setup in general. This feels like an anti-pattern. Because it's like hard to reason about from a purely graph standpoint. It's hard to analyze anything that happens in here. Is there a link to that graph? This one? I suppose I can make one. I think it's just all in the URL. Just make a tiny URL. Does that work? Maybe the way I need to be reasoning about it is that whenever you see a node with a condition on it, it's got like two. No, wait, that's not true. Yeah, I'm using Dark Reader. Whenever there's a condition, what happens? So you want to visualize the choice they're making. I mean, part of the problem is I don't know what I want. There's like multiple things I'm thinking about at the same time. Part of what I want is like I want to know what this editor should look like. So that's partially why I care about how the graph looks. But the other reason I care is because I like it's nice to be able to do things programmatically on the graph. Like one of the examples is the locking for the boss of like, okay, we've already done that path. So we should prevent the player from doing it again. That was really easy in Cave Room 1 because Cave Room 1 had strictly the dialogue tree was a tree. Cave Room 2 is when we introduced cycles in the graph, and that makes everything more complicated. Okay, so this could be further modeled to actually have to get rid of the cycles. Well, to get rid of some of the cycles. I hope you have really good cave words. See you, Aaron. Thanks for the raid. You can get rid of some of the cycles here. If you were to extend this out, so it instead of looking like this, you like add this nevermind to each of them, and then each of these becomes a node. So it'd be like 35B, 35C, D, E, F. And each one of them has its own nevermind. But, ugh. There is a sequence to it because of how you programmed it. Yeah. Yeah, I could maybe... So I don't think the tooling is ever going to be aware of this field. Because this is like... You can put arbitrary fucking code here. But I could maybe pull this out to be its own thing. That's like last inputs player 35.1. And then I could have tooling around that because this is like easier to reason about than this way. Just wasn't sure if this was a pattern I wanted to have or not. And that's why I did it the hacky way at first. Oh wait, this wouldn't be 1. This would be 2. Oopsie. And I think this would have been 1. Oops. Oh well. Whatever. The other place in the graph has it without sequence? You mean over here? I think this one is more complicated. Actually, I mean, it's a similar situation. Player 36. We've got, there's this chain where you can sing the song. And I think this one gets you killed. But then the whole time, these other ones are also present. Oh, wait. Oh, wow. This is also in here. Wow, this one's kind of crazy. It's like 2 sequences intertwined. No wonder this one fans out so much. Yeah, look at this one. It does what does that even mean? Last input not equals 36.4. 36.5. What was even the point of doing this? I guess because you can still finish singing during that time. Yeah, this one is complicated. Yeah. Wait like 5 months to analyze it. Forget all of the context. Smart. I am smart. This one is dumb. I hate that. I think maybe these were bad anyways, because a lot of people had like theories based on the way that this was structured, that like maybe you had to sing like half the song and then pick one of these, because that was an option. And so like just increases the number of paths through. For not really any benefit other than avoiding that. Is there a player 36.6? Yeah, but it leads out of here. So it would never be your last input at this point. Okay. Oh, cellmate 6, I think, is a weird one. I forgot about this. I forgot about this feature. Is that actually difficult? I don't know how I would represent that, actually. Which feature? This one? Part of the problem is I have added too many features to this dang system. And so making this editor is going to be annoying. Yeah, I like the randomization feature. I just don't know how I'm going to represent it in the editor. Because it's like one line, but it's multiple lines. And I think there's a similar situation with like Randall. There's 3 different ways he says all. Because it's 3 different voice lines. Is why that one is like that. I think there's another one with the I don't know. Let's just search randomize actually. Yeah, this one has a ton. Do you want to be able to attach a specific voice line to a recording? Yes. So the way we do that right now is it's based on the key. So we look at the voiceover folder. And it's sorted by character. So it'll look up based on the character enum. It'll look in this folder. It'll see bartender 10, and then there's 15 different or 14 different versions of that one. Play? Play what? And then it's a little bit confusing because this is a little bit overloaded. So you can also, one node can have multiple lines. So like bartender 9 has 2 lines. It says, okay, all you have to do is throw this ball into that cup. If it goes in, you win. And so that's 2 audio clips as well. But since it doesn't have randomize, it goes through them in sequence instead of picking one. Which is a little bit awful. We're data modeling in here. Exactly. I wonder if step 1 is to make like a schema for this big object that I've invented. So does that mean you can't have random multi-line? True, you can't. It's not supported. Is that true? You might be able to. Honestly, let me see. There's like some cursed things you can do in here. I don't know if I ever used that one in this game or if it's... Yeah, because like... I don't know what happens if you put an array here. If I do this, does it still work? Testing. I don't think so. I don't think it accounts for that. I don't think it recurses down like that. Cause it wouldn't know what to do with the indices. I think it only goes 1 level deep. Even though it looks like you could do this. I don't think this is legal. But I mean, it's all right. Like, I don't think there's situations where you would want to randomize multiple lines. Yeah, I can. What is this one in text? Surely that could just be a string. Yeah. I think there's lots of those around. I would probably use a JSON parser that lets me do that. Because Godot lets me do that, so. Is there a way to do that in JavaScript, actually? JavaScript parse JSON with trailing comma. Can't do it with JSON.parse. Preprocess the string. That sounds like a bad idea. Oh, so you could do like eval. Yeah, okay. I get it, I get it. Write my own parser. I mean, I'm sure there's a parser that exists. It's just going to be slower than JSON to parse. Whatever. Don't matter that much. Oh. I did not know this was in here. Oh, the Wumbo. There. All right, what are we doing? Are we still on deciding what? Just give me JavaScript. Just kidding, give me TypeScript. Do I want the beta, which is experimental? Oh no. I don't know. Yes. Yes. Holy shit. Oh, it's running. Okay. Oh. We did it. Website complete. Okay, now what? I guess let's just like this object is not huge. What are you talking about? It's just called var lines. But let's go to the source folder. Let's vim the schema. All right. All right, what else is invalid in here? Line 1417. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, now we're good. Great. So we don't have the triggers. I feel like I kind of want to not have triggers be an enum. I don't know. On one hand, it's nice, but then I gotta like compile them. You want them to be portable? Yeah, I probably just want them to be strings. Same with the characters. So let's find anything. Well, character dot sure. You have to escape these? Probably. Okay, do the same thing with trigger. We have any other enums in here? Oh, we've got color. Oh, and we got warden presets. All right, hold on. Let's just delete any presets. And Wumbo. And color. Makes things easier for now. What did I do now? Oh. Oh no, was there... What is... Wait, what? Oh no. What happened here? Okay. Error? Why is that an error? Dead code shouldn't be an error. Everyone knows. What the fuck is that? What was that? Did I just get hacked? Unlike when mysterious windows open up and then close. How fun. Pretend I didn't see that. If my mouse starts moving, I'm hitting the power button. Just letting you know. No unused locals. Probably just delete that line or keep it as false. There we go. Now it's a warning. Or an H? What's an H? A hint? What? Why can't I? Oh, it's not exported. Cool. Boom. There it is. Look how good it is. It's a nice object. I do wonder if organizing it by scenes would be useful. We need to differentiate between the trigger and the scene enum case. I don't think so. I don't even remember what the scene one was. It's not even in here. What the fuck was that? Or no, it was story maybe? Yeah, okay. I think this one just I was being a little bit silly and I put story.trigger even though we didn't need that. Like this is just being verbose for no reason. It's probably why it broke. I don't know why these ones broke. Oh, because I didn't have numbers in the group. Whatever. Yeah, I do wonder if instead of having everything like in the global space, if having well, if I nest them further, it's gonna make it more annoying to use. So maybe that's not something we care about outside of the editor. But we do still need to group them into... Oh, heck. Yeah, this is tricky. Hmm. I guess the first thing we want to do is like identify where the entry points are. Like these top level ones that aren't pointed to by anybody. And then go from there. This is such an interesting design problem. There's like so many ways you could implement this, and I'm just paralyzed by decisions. I guess there's two main workflows. There's the workflow where you're creating new stuff from nothing. And historically the way we did that is top to bottom. Like we'd start writing a line for the dragon and then the player. Then we figure out the options that match up to those. So for that, I think it's not too bad because you'd essentially you'd write this, then you'd like click on this one, and you'd write this. You can go back and click on this one and write this. This one is interesting because I guess it just goes to here. Oh, but they all go to here. How would you make them all go to there? Maybe these aren't like radio buttons. These are like checkbox buttons. You can have them like all selected and then start typing and it would link all of them to here. But that's weird because these aren't linked. This is not linked to this. It's this is linked to this. Ah. Mm-hmm. Is wiring as you write dialogue the way to go? Hmm. Yeah, it's a good question. Maybe you do all the wiring in the like graph view. And you, like nothing is automatic over here. But that would be a little bit confusing. I guess not. I guess if you left these annotations here, like we've done, then it wouldn't be too bad. Mm, mm-hmm. You just realized K-Rim is made by you? Yeah, who did you think made it? That's kind of funny that you if you knew me and K-Rim independently, but not the connection. There. Or do you want to visually indent the resulting dialogue? I think indentation is a bad way to do it. What I would rather do is like have it look like this, but have like some colored lines in the margin that are like connecting things together. So you're analyzing some complex example of a game's dialogue system. Ah, Oh, so you weren't familiar with Cave Room. Okay. That makes more sense. Yeah, this is a self-inflicted problem. Like if I had a more like a DSL would be one way to do this. But I like this way of writing the thing. Like it's nice. What I don't like is turning this into JSON. And we haven't, this is not quite syntactic enough to translate automatically. You could turn it into YAML. Because it's stuff like this where like the intent is just not clear until you look at the context and figure it out. But I do think this plus like colored lines in the margins would be OP. Would be very neat. And then the ability to like select a specific option, have it filter out the stuff that's not related. And be able to edit it in that state. Like there's so many cool things that I want to be able to do, but it's complicated. You're away from game dev 3 years. Dang. I don't think I've taken that long of a break. I mean, it's been a few months since Cave Room. This was what, September? October. Yeah, I've been going pretty consistently since whenever Plant was. 2022. But even before that, I was doing some stuff. I just wasn't putting it on itch. Man, I've been making games since forever. It's kind of crazy. I think I started in like either 2005 or 2006. I've got some games from that era. They're not good. You liked Clark the Spark? Thank you. I still kind of want to make a video or something about how this game works, because I think it's kind of interesting. And I think a lot of people in the jam were like confused how it works. I got at least a few comments that were like, wow, it must have been so much work to put down all those camera angles. And I'm like, what do you mean? How do you look at this and think I put a camera angle for every No, 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 no. I have an algorithm. Yeah, the movement was very interesting to program. Like that was the whole game basically, was like I had this idea for movement. Like what if you're a little electric guy and you're constrained to the path of wires in the walls. And then I spent the rest of the jam going like, why did I do this? This is hard. Since I'm not making any progress, I'm just gonna open that and get sidetracked. Unless I can't remember. Oh, it's this one. One of the cool things about how this game works, well, first of all, the whole game is one scene, which is fun. There's a couple of transitions, but they're fake. It doesn't actually switch scenes. You start out, the tutorial level is just underneath the city, and it's gigantic. And then you're in the house. And then there's a transition where you ride a wire over to the office, which is just inside this building. And then it zooms out to this view. And then the ending is way over here. It's just a big plane floating in the sky with a camera really close to the tiny Earth. That's the whole game. But the thing that's really interesting in this game is the wires. Because Godot doesn't have a nice way to edit like a graph in the editor. And I thought about making one, but it turned out it was going to be a lot of work. So the thing that's actually here is like, oh wait, that's the wrong one. House wires. It's just like a 3D mesh, but it has no faces. It's entirely made of edges. Yeah, it is mesh. So I made this in Blender by taking like the house level and just like, creating some vertices, extruding them, and making wires inside the walls. And the whole level gets procedurally created at runtime from this mesh information. Yeah, Blender is like a really nice graph editor, it turns out. Didn't even know that's possible. Yeah, you don't see a lot. There is a checkbox you have to click in Blender to be like, wait, don't delete those edges like that. It is my mesh. Please. I know they're not connected to any faces, but I want you to keep them. But other than that, you can do this. And then, so this in-game, this doesn't render as anything. So what I do when the game is running, let's see if it still runs. It does still run. Nice. What I do when the game is running is, how do we, So these lines are actually just a bunch of cubes that get generated along the path. Like, why wouldn't it? Oh, you know how it is. Godot has updated a few times. I don't know. I'm on a different operating system. Where's the script that does the wires? Probably here. Yeah, network.gd is like the whole game in one script. Why is this like highlighted? What? What does it mean? This is a warning? Oh. We're doing warnings now. This is how you know it's a game jam. Yeah, where does it... Okay. For node in nodes, create cube mesh. Wait, is it really this easy to make the... Oh, okay, no. So this gives me all the vertices. No. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, okay. So at each vertice, I place down a cube. And then between all of the vertices, I loop over the edges and I give them also a cube. And then I have my own little connection graph thing that's used for the movement. I think, yeah, this function is where it decides which angle the camera is going to look, and it is kind of complicated. Maybe flip. Because it has to do a lot of... It's actually kind of an annoying problem. Can we make the house like see-through or something? So if we look like right here, there's a... I guess it'll be easier to do if I just run the game. It's printing out a lot of errors in the console, by the way. What? Oh. My mouse has to be over... Oh, because of my window manager. Okay. Oh, okay, cool. I got rid of the house. I forgot. Let's turn the house back on. But like right here, this is an interesting case. So whenever there's a three-way junction, what I do is we stop at any 3 or 4-way junction, and we take the normal of like if you took those 3 edges and you made a plane, there's like two ways that it points perpendicular to this thing. So we calculate both of those options, and then we test whether or not one of them is inside the house. If one of them is inside the house, we pick that one, because we don't want the one that's like outside the house looking in. So that's part of the magic. There's also a couple of weird cases like over here, yeah, the ceiling is hard-coded to look from above. I made sure that the ceiling was all a plane. There is a weird thing in the house because it's 2 floors where it turns off the whole top floor of the house when you go down. And then this has its own ceiling. But yeah, don't worry about that. Yeah, there are some weird ones. Like this one. This one we look at from an angle. I think we look at this one from an angle because if I remember right. Yeah, this one just has an override. So I made it in such a way that you could put like a... Oh, I'm moving the house right now. The heck? How do I click on? Is it on the lamp itself? Oh, I'm in move mode, okay. Not select mode. I still can't select anything. I don't know. Oh, this is a whole, okay, this is a scene. That's why. Yeah. So the lamp has this little collider on it. And because the node is inside that area, it looks at this thing and uses that as the camera angle. You did that city, the wires, and the complicated cam logic in only 2 to 3 days? No, I think this was like 10 days or something. Or maybe it was a week. I think that one was a week. But, so that one's just an override. But I think there's other weird ones that aren't an override. Like, let me see if I can remember the route here. No, not that one. Wait, how do you get to this TV? You gotta go from above, I think. Yeah, this one. Okay. If we turn off the house again. This one looks at it from a diagonal because the corner is like this. So this one was super interesting to figure out. I think there's another one like that upstairs. I think it's right here. This alarm clock. Oh no, that's not that weird of an angle. Never mind. That's normal. I was playing it, I had some difficulty remembering the routes. Yeah, but like that's the only gameplay that there is really, is trying to figure out how to get around. So I don't know. Oh. I hit the button. Uh-oh. I'm not gonna be able to do any of these, right? I'm soft locked. No. But yeah, it was a fun one for sure. I decided to do the override thing because there were like the code was getting kind of spaghetti in here specifically, and I was like, I don't want to add a bunch of custom problems. You made an electricity game in SimCity in 1 week. I mean, I would call it more of a Katamari like than SimCity. One good example of you can tell it's a game jam is, so there's this network script, right? And this is where the pop function is defined. But I copy pasted this function like wholesale, and basically the entire script for the part where you do the buildings. And then I did it again for the part where you do the earth. I was like, I could come up with some clever abstraction here. Yeah, more copy paste. Or I could copy paste the whole script and it's fine. Nobody will know. Hey, Beaver. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. Is that in here? No, I think it's in the fades. Fades is such a funny name because it started off as I wanted certain things to fade out when you went behind them. And then it just turned into the like every object is a fades. This is kind of the one script for everything, and it never got renamed. Yeah, this is the big map of let's see. How many points you get? How many points is the minimum to be able to do it? What is the pop threshold and the max time? Pop threshold means if you have that much, it'll just like instantly pop when you hit the button. And max time, I think, scales based on these two things. I don't remember exactly. How many zeros is that? 1,000,000? All right, you can never instantly pop the generator, I guess. Ooh, unlerp. That's fun. Am I running Ubuntu? I am. Why do you ask? Man, I remember this thing. This was such a pain. In the top bar, no look Ubuntu-y. Are you thinking of GNOME? GNOME? This was so we wanted to have a video playing on the TV with audio. And the only way to do the video is in a control node. And so we have like, oh my God, it's like a control node, and then the audio gets routed through a bus, and then I have to do my own like fake panning and stuff based on how far away you are. It sucks. I skip eating milk for a couple days and I'm back to being intolerant. Dang. Were you like building up a tolerance? I'm fine if I eat cereal with milk every day. That's interesting. I don't really do milk anymore. Haven't in a long time. Not on its own anyways. And definitely not with cereal. Honey bunches of oats is the goats. I see. I'm addicted to shuffling cards. Is a problem. Can you hear it? Thought that was you typing. Yeah, I typed this fast. I'm familiar with I3 because of a previous interaction when I was rocking Manjaro. Well, what if I told you this isn't I3 either? Would that break your brain? It's sway. I think it's a fork. I'm not sure if it's a fork or a rewrite, to be honest. For Wayland. It might just be a rewrite. I feel like I've lost my will to be productive today. What to do? How do I pivot? Should I just play some video games? Do they even still have video games? I don't know. I feel like I need to like think about this problem more just in the background. But it was good to do some active thinking on it too. They deleted all the video games? Dang it. I wanted to play some of those. Hey, Control-O. Is there anyone on pivot to a segue? Is there anybody on that I can make play games with me? What got auto-modded? I don't know. I couldn't tell. Wait, Hypnotic's playing chess.
You
No,
too
he's not
look
playing
like
chess
you need
anymore.
a hobby other than drugs. Get in
Wait,
there and buy a
do I have enough
bobblehead.
points to get a... It's on cooldown for an hour 37? Oh my god. Alright. We gotta wait an hour 37 before I can challenge him to a game of chess. I can give you a 5-minute distraction? Sure. You have a text editor? Good. Very good. What the fuck? How is this a text editor? What did you mean by this? This is definitely a virus. Okay, I give it via the environment variable, so let's look for... Okay, you read it in with cat. EOF is a reserved keyword. Wait, can it not say EOF in the file? That's a funny limitation, if so. You might want to use something a little more obscure. I have lots of files that have only EOF on the line. Because this is so common. I gotta be honest, this is a little bit terrifying for me to just run. Like, I do trust you, but I also, like, you know, set is powerful. And if something goes wrong, I don't know how to reason about what this might do. Yeah, it's not that I think you did something malicious. It's more like I don't know what the failure conditions are. Like uh what is the potential blast radius of a bug? It's not something I know for said. I could do it in like Docker or something. That's true. Sure. Do I not have Docker? Oh, hold on. Hold on. Hold. You just do all this stuff. Oh dear. That seems fine. The warning was for potentially losing text in your file. It makes sense that it wouldn't be that bad. Okay. This should be pretty easy to get a Docker container though. All right, we're in. Are there other files in here, or is it just the one file? It's just the one file. Cool. Raw. Okay. Apt install. Let's try apt update first. Can I edit itself, or is it gonna... Oh. How do I run it? Okay. Is it running? One more enter. Oh. Yes, we can't edit that file. Let's see, what would be a good file? My file. Wait, what is this? Enter command. Help. Okay. What was, oh. How did I get out of it? Oh, now we're cruising. How do I insert text? Insert. Insert? Oh. 6. Oh, okay, okay. I made an edit. Kinda like a... Oh, I don't have ed. Hmm. Did I fix it? Oh, I did it. I'll set it as default for sudo edit. And just hope that I never need to edit a file with EOF in it. Delete F5 to reload. That's neat. What did you, what was your inspiration? Just that it's like funny to make an editor in the stream editor. Just doing hard things instead is your thing. Got it. Very cool. Okay. I'm gonna pee and then we're gonna do something with this JavaScript stuff. Maybe. All right. Here's what I'm thinking. We find all the top level keys. That should be easy. Alls we got to do let's call it find entry points. Hey Jago. How did big mode go? Hmm. Hmm. God, I hate that that is an error. No one used locals. No one used parameters. I know this might sound stupid, but I'm old, so forgive me. Is this how AI is also built? It's not a stupid question. What? What kind of AI do you mean? In some sense, yes. It's a yes and no answer. LLM models? Not really. Like, there is code that creates them, but what the code represents is like a bunch of math. And when you run the program to do all the math, it takes a really long time and a lot of compute. Could you give me a second to word my question more accurately? Sure. But yeah, you do a bunch of math, and then the thing that you get is sort of this black box that, like, you put in text and you get text out the other side. Which that part is not, I mean, it is technically code, but it's like a different level of code. At the very, very, very beginning of what AI is. Yeah, I mean, depending on what depth you want an answer. What's the name? Three blue, one brown. How long ago was that video? When was the LLM video? Is it this one? That one seems not like the intro one. Is that the one I'm thinking of? These are all so old. Didn't AI start as just a Pong engine effectively? No. Oh, maybe this one. Is this the one?
Imagine you happen.
So, I mean, okay, there's different kinds of AI. LLMs specifically are like, I believe it started with like translating between human languages. Is where the research came from. Yeah. Only real AI is the CPU opponent in Age of Empires. Yeah, this is a good intro video. But like very brief explanation. Yeah, there's some code that represents a bunch of math. When you do the math with lots of input, you end up with this big database. And you can use that database to do the LLM thing where you take in some text and you predict what text is most likely to come next. That's the elevator pitch. Can I just explain my situation up front? Sure, if you want. I'm not exactly an AI expert, but I know a little bit about the thing. Hey, Nerdsoul. Yeah, what do I want to do here? So I want to look at this object, and I want to do fucking object.keys lines. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think I need to loop over it twice. We go over the keys. Do a little for each. No, it's not this. Fiddled with LLMs for several years. I realized how they function and made my own process kernel, cutting out all the loss that LLMs currently force due to token stack and value weights. That being said, I have zero understanding of the infrastructure. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to help. Sorry. Yeah. So we need to go deeper. We can't just look at the key. We need to look at the next. But it's not just the next, it's also the input dot next. So if, let's see. If lines key has own property, or no wait, is it has own property or is that not the way to do that anymore? I don't know. Key, no, next. Lines key. Maybe let's make line equal lines key. Line next. Line dot next. And if it has inputs, then we gotta do the fucking line dot input dot for each input. So input or inputs? Input. Wait, false. What? How did that happen? Cool. Input has any type. Yeah. That's because it is any for now. Input the next. Okay. So that should tell us all the ones that are referenced. As line. But we want the ones that are not that. All right. Oh, and then I closed the tab. Oops. Okay. I think I did it. I think I'm the best to ever do it. First try, easy. Those look like the inputs to me, I think. Let's just sanity check. Randall 1 and 14. Yeah, easy. Very easy. Oh, that's a good emote. Okay. So now what? Interesting. We never have a player line as a input. That makes sense, I think. Um, Gotta go live too. Bye. See ya. Okay. Do we want to further? Oh shoot. Do we want to like do some graph merging stuff? Yeah, what do I want the interface of this thing to be when you're coming into an existing structure? Hmm. I guess there is some interesting stuff with hmm. Mm-hmm. There's some interesting stuff. Nertzel, this is hard. Oh wait, you asked me a question and I ignored you. Do you have a plan for D2 Jam? No, I kind of forgot about it. I need to make a plan. Do you wanna be my plan? Are we teaming up? See your friends too? Salmoning too? I'm all about sequels these days. Down to jam. It can be your plan if you'll be my plan. Whoa. That's a big commitment. What type of plan would you like to plan? Do you want to write this app for me so I don't have to do it? Let's see. How do you log into this website? God, why do the colors flicker so much on this site? Is it dark reader? Oh yeah. No, I already have it turned off for this site. Oh, I think it's because when you hover over this, it just like auto. Yeah, this should really need to click to trigger. This is like a fucking, what's the epilepsy issue? Especially because it's right next to where you would have stuff on your toolbar. Hmm. Alright, I'm logged in. Oh, we're just in theme submission right now. Clarification. What would be my theme ideas? How many can I submit? Got DDoSed yesterday. Can you fix this, Brainoid? This is actually like an accessibility issue, kind of. I think you should have to click on this button to toggle the drop down at the very least, or maybe just like, I don't know. I think the fact that you can hover over this and then hover over these is like really jarring. What is a good theme? I do like the hot dog theme. So therefore, hot dog. No wait. Let me think. Yeah, wait, can I just put in themes that would be good for us? Friendship. Get it? Because friendship. Using the hot dog theme makes it difficult to take your request seriously. uh Salmon riding bicycles underwater. Oh, it can't be that long. What's a word? Can't think of any words right now. Abyss. There you go. Those are my words. You asked what's the app and I ignored you again. It's a dialogue tree editor for cave room like experiences. Except right now it's not. It's Vite plus TypeScript equals counter. And you can click the plus button and it goes up. See? Didn't know cave room got so iconic it's already a genre? Yeah. Genre defining. You want to help with Cave Room 3? This summer? We should make a trailer for a game that we don't know what it's going to be yet. You can voice a fish? All right. Noted. I did draw what I want this to look like. I want it to look like this. Do you see the vision? I don't know if this makes any sense. It's one of these situations. I don't think I see it. Oh no. What do you mean? It's think of it as like I want to have two editors for the same data. Like synchronized and also multiplayer ideally. Yeah. Why'd you say oh? Don't say oh. Uh-oh. How's multiplayer gonna work? Well, I'm gonna do this in the browser. Multiplayer in the browser is like kind of solved. Kinda. So I think I need to mechanically, yeah. It's I mean the same as like how Google Docs and stuff works. You use this guy. This site is dead. Hello? My internet dead? Or is their website dead? All right, pretend. Like, yeah, you use the collab module. I think I want to start by just implementing the left side. It's not a game. No, this is a like a website. This is a web app for editing a big JSON. And then the game will consume this big JSON to run. Is the hope. So this is the this is the library I'm thinking of using. It's called Prose Mirror. It's a text editor for the browser, kind of. It's the idea of a text editor for the browser. The main principle of Prose Mirror is that your code gets full control over the document and what happens to it. The document isn't a blob of HTML, but a custom data structure that only contains elements that you explicitly allow it to contain in relations that you specified. All updates go through a single point where you can inspect them and react to them. The core library is not an easy drop-in component. We're prioritizing modularity and customizability over simplicity with the hope that in the future people will distribute drop-in editors based on Prose Mirror. This is more of a Lego set than a Matchbox car. Oh yeah? So I think this is what we want because, I mean, depending on what we're able to, what level we can control the state of this thing, like, it might just already be able to edit our thing. Prose Mirror model defines the editor's document model. Zoom this in a little bit. Prose Mirror defines its own data structures to represent the content documents. It's a node, holds a fragment containing 0 or more child nodes. It's recursive and tree-shaped. Okay. Inline content is modeled as a flat sequence with the markup attached as metadata to the nodes. Sure. Okay. That seems fine. Another important difference between a DOM tree and a prose mirror document is the way the objects that represent nodes behave. Nodes are simply values. That is a little more troubling. Because I do wonder how I'm going to make the keys for each thing. Maybe the key is just like I think the right way to do it is a key is character and then a hash of the text. Because well, because if the text changes, that should invalidate the voice line anyways. But I guess it could have formatting changes that wouldn't. This might make things tricky. So it is with pieces of prose mirror documents. They don't change, but can be used as a starting value to compute a modified piece of document. Ah. Okay. Okay, maybe what we want. Maybe what we want is to be able to store some sort of metadata with nodes that says whether or not they're like frozen. And frozen will mean like we've already sent this to somebody to record. So it shouldn't change anymore. This is interesting. Also, hi watchmakering. How are you? Bu- 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 Object structure for a document, like something like this. Yeah, so I wonder if the thing that I want is just some way to sync between this structure and my structure. That's gonna be the tricky part. It's like, when do you update one versus the other? Full document is just a node. Two types of indexing. They can be treated as trees, can be treated as a flat sequence of tokens. I wonder if I can't actually do collaborative editing at this level. If I just need to implement the collaborative editing on the backing structure. Very interesting. Hmm. Yeah. I mean, but this already does that, but like, I wonder if that doesn't help me. Since updates can also come from the graph editor side. Hmm. This is gonna be a pain in the ass to make. Ooh. How badly do I want this to exist? Hmm. For example, if you select from the middle of one paragraph to the middle of the next one, the slice you've selected has 2 paragraphs in it. First one open at the start. Yeah, what happens then? You have to handle a document. The object will stay the same. Most of the time you'll use transformations to update documents. You won't have to directly touch the nodes. These also leave a record of the changes. In cases where you do want to manually derive an updated document. Okay. Yeah, I read about the schemas thing. Okay. Every node in a document has a type, which represents its semantic meaning and its properties, such as the way it is rendered in the editor. Right. Okay. top level node is doc, and a text type for text content. Okay. Marks are used to add extra styling or other information to inline content. Schema must declare all mark types it allows in its schema. Here's a simple schema that supports strong and emphasis marks on text in paragraphs but not in headings. A set of marks is interpreted as a space-separated string of mark names or mark groups. Underscore acts as a wildcard. Oh, wow. Okay. Extra node-specific information, such as the level of a heading node, is best done with an attribute. Okay. In order to be able to edit them in the browser, it must be possible to represent document nodes in the browser DOM. The easiest way to do that is to include information about each node's DOM representation in the schema using the toDOM field. Okay. 0 is the hole where its content should be rendered. Yeah, this is like pretty wild. You'll also often need to parse a document from DOM data. For example, when the user pastes or drags something into the editor. I won't worry about that for now. Central to the way Prose Mirror works. Form the basis for transactions. Why can't we just mutate the document and be done with it? The form of values that represent the individual steps taken to go from an old version of the document to a new one. Collaborative editing system sends these steps to other editors. Yeah. You usually don't need to work with these directly, but it's useful to know how they work. I feel like I might have to. Place step to replace a piece of a document, or add mark step. Oh, that is at a level though that I don't want to work with. Hacking the Gibson? No, my brain's hurting. A step can fail. For example, if you try to delete just the opening token of a node, that would leave the tokens unbalanced, which isn't a meaningful thing you can do. An editing action may produce one or more steps. The most convenient way to work with a sequence of steps is to create a transform object. Or a transaction, which is a subclass of transform. What makes up the state of an editor? You have your document, of course, and also the current selection. There needs to be a way to store the fact that the current set of marks has changed when you, for example, disable or enable a mark but haven't started typing with that mark yet. Okay. Mm. Might add new state to the editor and update it based on transactions. Brrr. Creates a transaction and broadcasts this. Okay. It's possible to intercept transactions in order to wire this cyclic data flow into a larger cycle. Updates the app state and then refreshes the UI. Mm. Widget decorations. Insert a DOM node. Some control over the way the view draws your documents. Okay. The recommended way to maintain your decorations is to put the set in your plugin's state. Map it forward through changes and only change it when you need to. Huh. What? Adds a yellow background inline decoration to every fourth position. Huh. Interesting. Node views make it possible to define a sort of miniature UI components for individual nodes in your document. Mm. It's neat. Command is a function that implements an editing action. For practical reasons, commands have a slightly convoluted interface. Return a Boolean. Returns a plugin that takes care of tracking local changes. That's all there is to it. Wow, that was a lot. I still don't have a clear picture of what it would look like to have some synchronized data, the state of this thing. Because I don't think I can model my data purely in their document structure because theirs is a tree and mine is a graph. And those are not the same thing. Well, mine is kind of a tree if you ignore the edges. But I guess the problem is the thing that I'm envisioning is capable of editing on like a sub tree. Like you can filter the tree down to one specific path and edit that path as a linked list, basically. And so because of that, we can't directly do this collaborative editing thing because Well, I wonder if the way I could implement that is just by hiding stuff. What's up for today? I'm almost done. My brain is melting. But I've been doing a lot of reading documentation. Well, you've been cooking, it's a sophisticated text editor thing. Did I see JS? Yeah. But I wonder if I could hide. I'll have to do some experiments to see if I can hide nodes and just. Fuck, almost definitely not. I feel like almost certainly not. What kind of editor? It's for dialogue systems for games. But I wonder if Prosemir is just the wrong rabbit hole. Something for Minecraft? No. No, it's for my games. Specifically the upcoming much anticipated Cave Room 3 will be hopefully using this technology. If I can will it into existence first. Yeah, I wonder if Prosemir is just the wrong guy. If I need something like it. The Cats game. Which Cats game? Eugenics? No. I heard about it, but I haven't really looked into it. Okay, I've given myself a headache. I think I gotta go. But it's been fun. We will hopefully continue this. I don't want to give up on this one because I think it will be a cool thing. And useful. But I can't think anymore. Who should we raid? How many people are even here? Well, 47 people. Where should we go? What's he doing?
Isn't it insane that if you're in the middle of writing code, the code is unfinished
Go programming.
and it's not
Sure.
production ready?
I'm not normally online.
You know, like between
when
the
he's
points where
online,
you
I
start
feel like
writing the code and you finish writing the code might be fucking unfinished. Isn't that crazy?
I could raid Bad Cop? No,
Fucking
I'm
insane
good.
idea, isn't it? And you can have placeholders and shit. I swear to God.
It sounds like he's having
So
a
this is the
similar
zero
experience to
error,
how I
and in this specific case,
have with
some,
Go.
you know,
I'm not a huge Go lover.
All right, so got that. this is gonna be ESP.
All right. Thanks for hanging out.
Nope.
I'll see you again
And
soon.
this is an error.
Maybe tomorrow.
And in case of an error, what do we usually
Bye-bye.
do in case of an error? I don't quite remember. So we can